Welcome to, this is podcast number 4 on the Masked Sessions. Ciara Lee, thanks so much for coming along today.
Thanks you for having me.
Yeah, brilliant. No, I'm delighted. I'm really delighted because you've been a loyal follower. So for a good while, I always remember the people who kind of, have been following my account.
Yeah.
The majority of the time, so I could, there's a handful who sort of been following it since the start.
Yeah.
So it's nice, and I'm delighted to have you.
Thank you so much.
Cool. So you were involved your first year, last year, you were involved in the Art Riddler exhibition.
Yeah, last year was my first time taking part. Honestly, the first year I didn't think it was real. I thought it was fake.
Totally.
I thought it was some dodgy website trying to steal my money or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. All I need is your bank account details. I'll look after the rest.
Yeah.
Please find deposited €10,000.
Yeah, no worries.
So you dodged it the first year then, basically.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, I might add. I was hearing all these people sending me their art and wondering where will they see it again. So the first year was good fun, but you applied and were exhibited last year.
Yes.
Yeah, which was I remember the piece, and you submitted again for this year.
Yeah.
Are you confident?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you now, you got in.
Oh,
Right?
really?
I'll give you that little bit of good news.
Lovely.
So it's even though I think there's what is there? Two. Yeah, Friday fortnight is the closing date. So to be honest, most of the work comes in. I've had over 300 so far.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I'd say by the mad rush will come in.
Yeah, I guess those people are people who've been preparing these pieces before.
Yeah, and then it's the people that you probably saw, maybe the golden ticket thing I did.
Yeah.
So because they're all in, they're all just cruising, because they kind of have a bit longer.
Settling back, relaxing.
Yeah, exactly. So they like a lot of them are kind of like sending messages. What's the latest I can give you the piece?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the standard artist kind of affair. What's the last?
What's the deadline?
Yeah, exactly.
Not the opening. The deadline.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
perfecting the pieces.
Yeah, perfecting the piece. No, I'm delighted to have you in the show. So I wanted to tell you.
So much.
In person, I thought we'd do that. Because your piece. Tell us about your piece that you submitted.
Yeah. So my piece is a part of a project I call Balter. Which means to dance artlessly without skill or grace,
Brilliant.
But with just pure enjoyment.
What's the word? Sorry, Balter.
Yeah, Balter.
Okay.
So all my work's really about that. It's about enjoyment of dancing and moving and expressing how you feel.
Yeah, because the piece that you submitted, and I remember the piece from say last year, and some of your other work that I've seen out and about. There's always they seem like sort of club scenes, or they obviously have motion and dancing, but they actually have a sense of you very much relate to them when you see them. Like the one that you just submitted there, even though it's a painting, there's a sense of dancing and movement in it, and I think it's really cool. It's very unique type of painting or subject matter from a lot of the ones that say are submitted. So it's always your work's very eye catching. And so, Balter, where did that come from, or why? What's your sort of interest in that?
I guess I started taking photographs of people in college. I had a huge gap in my teenage years where there was no photographs, and there was no documentation of memories or good times, and I just really kind of missed out on that, or missed that. Digital cameras became a huge thing, and then people lose this huge gap of time. So I just started taking photographs of my friends on dance floors and just, everywhere really, but there was something about them, these photographs on dance floors, that I was just really captivated by. It's just a place where people really show this really almost high energy of just pure joy that I was addicted to, just seeing even. And I think I just really want people to see that themselves as well, or see it a bit more. Like, I think when I see those kind of photographs as well, looking back, or if I see those moments, like, it kind of brings me that kind of happiness.
Yeah.
So I think it's just something like, it's kind of like an object of happiness to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, because definitely like when your submission, well, because I know your work now.
Yeah.
I've seen it, like, and it's, I always think people will like your work because it is kind of standalone, particularly sort of the topic. And it is very interesting, and it's a big enough piece we were discussing beforehand. So, looking forward to seeing that in it. Do you do art full time?
I do, yeah.
So this is the full time, and how long have you always been doing it full time, or?
No. I guess I've just been doing it full time for the past 2.5 years.
Okay.
Are
you another COVID inspiration artist? A lot of people seem to have picked things back up, while at home.
No, before that I was like still creating. I was still like applying to things. But this is my like full time without having a side gig.
Okay, yeah.
I am living at home, so like that also helps in terms of like I don't need a huge amount of income in order to get by.
Yeah. Gives you that kind of flexibility to kind of establish yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give myself that time.
Yeah, that's good. And so do you work from home, studio wise?
No. I've got a studio on Pier Street. You might know a couple of the artists in there. There's Ruth Cassidy.
Oh yeah.
There's Carmen Quigley.
Yeah.
She's in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carmen was in both of the previous shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very intricate, detailed work.
Oh,
it's insane. Like it's insanely detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ruth, I was watching one of her. She's put up on Instagram it's a painting she's obviously doing at the moment.
Yeah, it's based on the studio.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it's like a little, it's
it looks like a
side kind of view of the building and all the artists work in a way.
Yeah, it looks cool because she's just put like some snippets up of it. She's been, I think, kind of moving it around and sort of drawing it from different angles and that kind of thing. What's the studio called? That's not those fire...
No, it's called... It doesn't really have a name.
Oh, it doesn't just have it.
It's run by this man, Gordon, and it used to be a framing place.
Okay.
Framing studios. But now he's just renting to artists.
And is there more than the three of you? Is there?
There's about between 8 and 10.
Yeah.
There's a couple come and go. So recently, so it's hard. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah. And do you share the studio space, or do you have your own sort of private part?
Everyone has their own little private room.
Yeah, that's good. I'd say you need that, do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it must be tricky, like if you're in a kind of communal area.
Yeah, there is a bit of a communal area, so you can kind of come and talk to each other. Or you kind of ask for advice on your pieces as well. But no, to just get down to work, I think it's good to have a bit of private space.
Did you go to art college?
Yeah, I went to NCD.
Okay. And I'm learning a lot about the art colleges.
Yeah.
So did you do the 3 or 4 year?
I was the first 3 year.
First 3 year.
So I graduated with a 4 year. So it felt like we had a huge year. Got to know a lot more people than maybe I would have. When
did you graduate?
It was 2016, I think.
Yeah, okay. Who else was there anyone else I know, say, in your class?
Sean O'Rourke was.
Okay. All right, okay.
Yeah. Ciara was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talented year.
Very talented year.
Was Shane in your Shane Berkery then?
You know what? He was either the year ahead or he was my year. He was definitely the 4 year course.
Right.
Yeah.
I think someone just said he was in Sienna's class or Sean's class.
Oh, well, then he was definitely. But he was the year ahead though.
Yeah. No, I just in passing, I think someone mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's a talented mule, and that's crazy. Like,
I think it's like really cool to see how many people that like were in our year that are still making art.
And is there like a fair few?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It is brilliant because I don't think that always happens either.
Yeah, like I wouldn't know, and like in talking to other sort of some of the other artists here, haven't sort of asked that question, but it seems like a profession that you go to art college. You don't have to. A lot of people, or you know, so you know, but those who go to art college, you know, that's fine. But you know, the realities of then surviving as an artist once you qualify,
Yeah.
you know, is totally different, and that's kind of make or break.
Yeah, like I don't think, like leaving NCD, I didn't really know how to apply to exhibitions, how to, you know, get into them, how to submit. I didn't really know anything like that. It took years to figure that out. Like I've only really started doing that in the past 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What exhibitions have you been in?
I was in say the RHA. They'd have their annual exhibition.
Yeah.
I've been in.
Was that, can I ask you, like, this,
Yeah, go on.
I was pretty sure, like, I was trying to think when I first came across your work. So was that 2 years ago you were in the RHA? Or would it have been 2 or 3?
Well, I guess including the summer just gone, I think it was
May 21, would that have been?
possibly, yeah.
What was your piece there? I'm just trying to...
It was...
No, sorry, I know exactly where it was. Hold on, actually.
Yeah?
Sorry, so it was in... and this is probably then totally wrong after you're saying it's, you know, it's... But it was actually in whatever the room is, just directly in on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was down in the sort of the back left-hand corner.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I remember that actually. Yeah, that was... Did that have... Is that where I saw the word Balter then as well? Did you have that written on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, there was real energy in that one as well. That's a fabulous achievement to have it in there.
Yeah.
You must have been delighted.
I think that was my first big kind of like, oh, I think I could do this, or, you know.
Because that was a big piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was chuffed with myself, like, yeah.
Big time. But like, it's such, like, when I look around, like, of all the, because like, I love that annual exhibition now. The first time I went was the first time I started this. And, but like, all different ages in it, all different stages of, you know, your careers. And like, it's a huge thing to get into.
Yeah.
Like I just like sort of have this like sense of excitement when I see like artists in it. They're going like, they must be so pleased, you know, to be in it. And particularly like you see some artists who like are in it and who are currently in college. Like that's
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think even just that those artists know that they should be applying to it is like a huge thing. Like I had no idea about the annual before when I was in university. Like I was very much like in the zone, just creating the work. I didn't really think about the world outside of.
Yeah, because that's what you're sort of thrown out into. Yeah, you've done your 3 years or your 4 years, and it's now like, right, I'm an artist. So what do I apply to, or what grants are available?
Yeah,
and that type of thing. Is it hard? Like I wonder about this. Like, say you put your heart and soul into preparing a piece. So you got into the RHA, and like, what's it like when you put your heart and soul into something and then you apply and you don't get in? Do you have to sort of
you do have
up, or do you have to? Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able for that sort of sense of, and I don't like to use the term rejection, but you know, I wasn't chosen. So, is it?
I think you do have to take it on the chin. Like you do receive more rejection than you do acceptance. Yeah, like you could receive like 80% rejection and 20% acceptance, but sometimes that kind of works out for you. Like I remember one year I applied to the RHA and I didn't get in with that piece, but then I ended up selling that piece at auction for more than I would have sold it.
Brilliant, yeah.
With the RHA. So like it really is, you kind of have to, you know, take it or leave it.
Yeah, and things work out differently. At the time it's disappointing.
Yeah.
But then obviously that was a nice turn of events then if you were able to sell it. Which auction? Or
it was Herman's.
Oh yeah. I went into, I think I've been to 2 of theirs now. Yeah, they're cool. They're interesting. There's always some nice pieces.
Yeah, they've got one coming up.
Okay,
soon. Yeah.
They always have a kind of funky name, like for their auctions and that kind of thing. They do go to. Is it in Studio 10?
I think this year or at this time it's going to be in their actual.
Oh, in their place, yeah,
In their,
yeah. I remember doing the podcast there. That's where I met Darren first. That's where my mask graced his.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, exactly. And so, what other exhibitions have you been involved in any this year, or is there any apart from obviously now that you know you're in an October exhibition? Or have you been in any other ones this year?
I was doing I was showing a few pieces in Lucky's.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm also, at the end of September, I'm going to be bringing a few pieces over for a show in Hamburg.
Brilliant.
It's called HAM, HAAM.
Okay.
It's a bit of an art fair.
And how did you sort of arrive at bringing over pieces over to Hamburg?
Just applied.
You apply?
Yeah, apply to as much as I can, or with whatever I have, I guess. And a lot of time you mightn't have pieces available.
Yeah, and Lucky's actually that's the bar on what street is it on?
It's on Mead Street.
Mead Street, yeah. I was in there. Yeah, is it Grace McEntee? Did she have some stuff? She's an artist.
Very possibly, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I went in there and I kind of recognized her, and then I saw her work on I think she actually might work there.
Yeah.
So, and she had some kind of interesting piece. Actually, she had a piece in the RHA this year, actually. So Lucky's and Hamburg. So Hamburg is the one on when is that?
That's the end of September. So I think it opens on the 27th, 29th.
Okay. Will you get to go over to it?
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, I'll have to for work reasons.
Yeah.
Work reasons. Oh, that's cool. Is that a big exhibition?
Yeah, it could be huge. There'd be, I think, 1,800 pieces.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah,
that's massive.
Yeah.
So you had to apply to that to get in?
Yes.
Okay. Fair play. And you got, sorry, did you say 3 pieces?
I think 3 pieces in.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's big. So that's September taken care of.
Yeah.
October is now taken care of.
Yeah.
And anything else?
Lovely run up to Christmas.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And have you ever done a solo show?
I did a solo, well, no, not a solo show.
Yeah.
But I did a 2-person show in the Horse Gallery last year.
Where's that?
It is quite close to the Hugh Lane. It's just off Dorset Street.
Okay.
It's a nice little gallery run by an artist. Yeah.
Okay, good experience?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So much fun. And I was showing work with another artist called Lily Musker, and she came over from the UK.
Okay.
With her caravan full of pieces and her wee girl as well. It was lovely.
Brilliant, yeah. So, an interesting blend then. Yeah, that's cool. And have you, is there any plans sort of for 2025? Is there any exhibitions in the pipeline, or are you just going to wait?
Make work and see how it goes.
And what's it's a question I asked. I actually asked Geraldine Carton, and I asked Ross McHale, and I also asked Leah Houston, and I also asked Mazer.
Mm-hmm.
When you are creating your art, is the name of the piece important to you? Does the name, is that sort of once you finish the piece, you sort of then think of a name, or does the name give inspiration to the actual process?
I guess a lot of my work is a part of the same project, Walter, so I do kind of just number them within that. But when I'm creating other pieces, definitely. I think words are a big part of how I think about work and art. Yeah. Yeah.
So at the moment it's like Bolter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
What number are we on now?
We're on 9.
And and are you going to sort of stick with that theme, sort of the Bolter theme? Is that always sort of the theme of your work, or have you done I've seen that's the work I'd associate with you, or maybe that you have other work I just haven't seen it, or so are you sticking to the Bolter theme?
I think I'm going to stick with it until I don't think I can do anything with it anymore.
Yeah. No, it is a class. It's very interesting. And so I suppose the exhibition, because it's nice to have the opportunity to kind of talk to some of the artists or put this out as a podcast. So what I'm doing this year for the exhibition is it's opening on the 24th of October. So it's a preview night. So I'm going to invite all the artists, the successful artists, to come at about 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, just so that they can kind of mill around together, talk, look at the pieces kind of in private. And then it's an invite only then from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So that's sort of the opening night on the Thursday. Then the Friday then is the free for all, and anybody can come to that. And then I have it to the 3rd of November. So it's an exciting sort of longer stretch, which is nice. And it's more opportunity then for the artists to potentially sell their work, or for people to come and see it, as opposed to, say, condensing it into the 3 days overall. And there's going to be a very interesting mixed space so far on the applications. And the difference this year, I was saying to some of the other guests, it's not just me choosing the winning piece. I'll have 3 people, including myself. So it's myself, Mazer, and then I have another person who's remaining anonymous for the moment anyway, but who is active in the art world.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is the 3 of us would have different tastes. So I thought that was a nice change. Despite the fact that, say, Sienna's piece and Sean's piece were very different pieces, it's nice just to make sure that sort of stays on track, that there's, a variation of styles and, what potentially, could win.
That it's not just one taste.
Yeah, exactly. And I certainly, it's not an idea that I came up with. I just overheard when I was at an RHA event, that they, for the Hennessy Craig and the Potterman award, that they have a panel of 3, and it's changed every sort of year or 2 years, however often it falls. And then I was at that, and I went, that might be something just slightly different for this year, so that there's a fairness across the board. Not that I think it was unfair. I think I was fair to everybody who's there, but it just kind of adds a different mix and freshens it up a little bit.
I guess I was wondering, in a lot of your posts you hashtag RTE. I think it's Sport the Arts or something like that. And I was wondering, is that where this mysterious 10 grand is coming from? Is it an RTE grant?
You're really stuttering my posts. No, it's not an RTE grant.
Okay.
But yes, I do hashtag lots of different things. And I suppose the reason why I kind of scattergun things is I started off doing that. It was the first time I used Instagram. So obviously I saw everyone hashtags loads of different things, and to be honest, that's really why I did it, because obviously when you start hashtagging, the other way you see, say, RT supporting the arts is one that I would hashtag, but when you're doing that, it shows you kind of how many posts or something they have, or followers or something, and it has a huge amount, so like 500,000 or something like this. So in my innocence or lack of knowledge about Instagram, I started just picking these ones that I thought might sort of
get you out there,
or some attention or something like that. So I do continue. I do more stories now as opposed to the posts. But when I do posts, I would still hashtag them. And anyone I can really think of. The 10,000 comes solely from me. So all the costs come solely from me. And so I don't make any money out of this. The idea was not to make any money out of it. Some people, kind of my close quarters who I would have talked to kind of about it, were like, how do you mean? Like they couldn't understand, that you didn't make any money out of it, because and that's why obviously people naturally would have been hesitant about the whole concept. Here's somebody putting on an exhibition, there's 10,000 prize, then if you sell your work, there's no commission taken. And so all costs from this, right through to handing over the 10,000, the venue, all of that stuff has been a cost to me. So I don't have anyone supporting me financially. Hence, this is the third and last show.
Yeah.
I suppose like the 10 grand,
Yeah.
I based that. I had to make something that I felt was attractive to artists, to want to apply. I also picked that figure because I thought I was only doing one exhibition.
Yeah.
So I didn't really realise I'd be doing a second or a third one. So I might have reviewed that 10,000 had I known it was going to like sort of
happen again.
Yeah, basically. Like I honestly didn't think people would sort of subscribe to it or the interest be there. But I was wrong. It's been cool. It's been a wild sort of journey. It's been really nice kind of chatting to different people.
Yeah.
People that I wouldn't have, say, interacted with, had I not, set something up like that. So that's all been really good. There's a great sense of community around artists. You're an interesting, curious bunch with your quirks, and so no, so that's the funding is from myself. I do like the question. You've been studying my hashtag. I didn't think
it's all a mystery.
I didn't think people would be studying. No, I actually set up the project. I suppose I needed 3 years ago. I needed a distraction from my sort of day-to-day life.
Yeah,
and sort of this instant happened in my life that I needed to kind of have a side project that was totally different to kind of sort of bring me through that period of time. So the whole idea of, say, the art sort of coming together and all of that was I found myself walking around exhibitions and that, and it's kind of post-COVID.
Yeah.
So not everything really opened back up. Some of the galleries were, and I went into the galleries and stuff, and I found it quite peaceful being in there. So it switched me off from my sort of day-to-day life and what was going on. And then slowly but surely the idea of sort of putting on my own exhibition came about. So hence the term that I use for this exhibition, Art Sets You Free, because it set me free. So it gave me kind of a clear mind, and
that's amazing.
So that's the sort of the whole basis of it. So like when I announced the first exhibition, I hadn't sort of told people about that side of it, and so I can understand how people kind of, there was only 50% of the story. There's still more to that story, but that's sort of as much as I'm sort of happy to give. But it was a missing part, so I could sort of see how it didn't fully add up to people. And like every time I was saying it, I knew it didn't sort of fully sound it, but that's a little bit more to it. So the art sets you free. It's because it set me free. It sort of cleared my mind in that, and then I genuinely think that going and viewing art is a very sort of peaceful kind of process, and I think more people should do it.
I think that's why artists make work as well, is to like reach people like that,
Yeah, and it definitely does. Like it's like all the galleries and the exhibitions that I've gone to around Dublin, there's so much there that I think so many people like me for this would never go to. So you never see it. So like I used to see, like there's the various galleries, like going to that, say the Zurich Portrait Prize and all that, like, and seeing, the 6-year-olds and the 8-year-olds and so on, like their submissions, and just going, oh my God, look at the talent, what have I done with my life? And it's just brilliant, and it's kind of it's very therapeutic. So I do think and that's sort of one of the things I was trying to do, like say the preview night that I was talking about earlier. Like there's people that I'm going to bring who I know would very much like art, but never go to
these events.
Yeah, that are on your doorstep. Now we're all sort of guilty of that for certain things. All these things are on your doorstep, but you don't necessarily go. So I'm trying to cure that in some small way. Yeah. And so hopefully that kind of answers your question and
definitely
resonates with it.
Just like recently I brought my goddaughter to the National Gallery, and when we were inside she said, I've never been to an exhibition before, and it kind of like blew my mind, like I forgot that like you always have this kind of first point of call, and we were going around the gallery, and we were drawing pictures of the paintings.
Yeah.
And then I was drawing a picture of one of the paintings, and I turn around and she's doing cartwheels down the center of the room, and in my head I was like, this woman came up and was saying, amazing cartwheels, but please don't cartwheel in here. And I don't know, you kind of forget that kind of innocence of like being in this spaces and not knowing what you're supposed to be doing, but you kind of like enjoy it, find your own way of enjoying it.
Because what age is your did you say your niece or your?
It's my goddaughter, so my best friend's daughter.
Yeah.
But she's 8 or 9.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have a nice setup there actually with the section where you can bring in kids and do all the drawing and just let them. I haven't tried the cartwheel thing.
That'll be you next time.
That'll be definitely.
Or I'll bring her to the exhibition and she can do some cartwheels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm all on for it. But listen, Ciara, I think that's great. And listen, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for taking the time to come in. And
thank you for organising.
Yeah, no, it's something different in that. But no, I appreciate it very much. I'm delighted you're involved in the show this year.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing your piece in person because I know it'll be super.